Take us through the FSD V14, the new version. What do we got to look forward to, Tori?
Version 14, man, all indicators of people testing this, it's proving to be incredible on the update. This is a huge update. So the very first thing that I do want to cover, other than it actually driving better, is that there's a new user interface on the screen where you can select your speed profile. Just it's right there. You can scroll and touch it, and that way, if you want to go from hurry mode to standard or chill, you can. And there's actually a new speed profile mode called Sloth. There's a lot of people complaining that whether you have it on hurry, standard, or chill, that it's just driving way too fast. Well, congratulations. The Tesla engineers on the AI team were listening, and they added a sloth mode if you want to put it in grandma mode. No offense to grandmas. I'm a grandpa and you're a grandpa, so definitely no offense there. But sloth mode and the other modes are supposed to be a lot. They've made it to where you can now tell that you're in the different speed profiles that you've selected. So sloth mode is going to hang out in the right lane. It's not going to go, much above the speed limit. Chill mode is going to be a little faster. Standard mode is just kind of your normal driving, and hurry mode is going to left lane, pass cars, drive faster. And this is going to be exciting to see the difference in speed profiles for people who were complaining that FSD is either driving under the speed limit and I'm trying to get it to go faster, or it's driving too fast and I want it to slow down. There have been big improvements there. Also, another huge improvement is parking at destination is now in this user interface. So you can choose whether you want it to pull up to curbside or whether you want it to park. And if you do park, you can tell it if it's a parking lot, if it's at a charger, if it's going to a parking garage. And man, there have been a lot of challenges with FSD at parking garages, especially at gates, waiting to open and close gates. It doesn't know what to do. It gets confused, and then pulling into a parking garage has been frustrating. The improvements in the parking garage, as well as at your driveway or at a charger in a parking lot, man, it's supposed to be really incredible with version 14. And when you set that parking garage, the goal that the Tesla AI team has had as it's working towards true sentient, full self-drive, autonomous driving, is that you can sit in your car when you're sitting in your driveway, and you can set the destination and activate full self-drive and never have to touch the steering wheel. That's the goal. I think we all can agree we haven't quite made it to that point yet. Well, version 14 is apparently really, really close. It's working well in parking garages, pulling into houses. Here's another big one. How many posts do we see, Rod, in the Tesla tips and tricks group of people who were saying, how do I get the car to pull into my garage? Do I need to put the white tape down? You've seen those, haven't you?
There we go. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those posts, Tori. Pardon me, my internet went out it was a little bit glitched there, but I was able to listen and follow along. So yeah, see a lot of posts, and exciting to hear about these updates, particularly the parking. I'm surrounded by gated communities around here, and we have transponders, and you pull up with your transponder and the gate just goes up, and that's one of those things. I'm it comes in hot, and I'm afraid to, like, see if it's gonna work because I don't wanna run through knock the breakaway gate off, and I want this thing to just park in my garage for me, so
Yeah.
put some tape strips down and let it park for me.
Well, and I should mention that uh, this is available in hardware 4. So if you have hardware 3, you're not going to see the big benefit that you get with the newest hardware cameras computer system. But parking in a garage is a big thing that apparently it does a much better job at with version 14. You don't have to put the white tape down and all of that. Also, like, it's hit or miss on mine whether it'll even pull into my driveway. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So apparently that's a big improvement there as well. And last here, is just the overall driving ability. There is a guy named Zach who's early testing on full self-drive, very involved, does a lot of Tesla stuff, and he got behind the wheel. I'm just gonna read part of his post on X. He says, "10 drives in with FSD version 14.1, and here are all my thoughts." I'm not gonna read all of them because it's a lot. He says, "First of all, wow. Zero disengagements or interventions thus far. The confidence and overall human-like driving is next level. The steering inputs are so smooth. Braking inputs are earlier and more linear than they were before. It gives off robotaxi vibes with how it navigates parking lots, plus how it drives and how quickly it backs into a parking spot. Such a nice experience to ride along with." So I'm not going to go down. He talks about parking garages and driveways and all this other stuff, and the braking. He talks about that, but he ends this with the Tesla AI team. That's who does the full self drive. Is the Tesla AI team. Says they cooked it with this update. It's phenomenal. Huge congrats to them for such an epic release. This is a huge update. I can't wait to drive it more. It's now 5 a.m., so I'm going to attempt to get some sleep, but tons of more driving and videos coming later today as soon as I can. Thanks everyone for following along. And uh, zero interventions and 10 drives, and it sounds like this was hours worth of driving. It wasn't just 10 5-minute drive. This is hours and hours of driving, and he didn't have to touch the steering wheel once. How how incredible is that? So we're getting close. We're getting close to that full autonomy. A couple of other updates that I've read on this new FSD is that it does emergency vehicle handling much better. It does construction zone handling much better. It alerts you on if you're in an area like a construction zone where you need to pay attention. It will alert you more to say, "Hey, just be prepared to take over." And I want to end this before your commentary, Rod, on just ending with Test. Elon has a post here on X. He says, "Great work by the Tesla AI team. Much more still to come. By version 14.3, your car will feel like it is sentient." And basically, what he's saying with sentient is autonomous. And when I look down and read a little bit more, he posted a little bit of a continuation of that and says that there's a lot more Tesla self-driving version 14 improvements still to come. The wide rollout of version 14.1 has begun. 14.2 rolls out in a few weeks, and then 14.3 a few weeks later, depending upon safety. There is so much change that we are carefully confirming each one. So sounds like here within 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to get to 14.3, and it's even more massive improvements over 14.1 with 14.3. So super exciting time to have a Tesla with hardware 4. And one last note here, Rod, this is so unlike Elon to say that it's a few weeks out and a few weeks out, because normally everything was, what was his famous line is just basically, "Oh yeah, 2 weeks, it'll be done in 2 weeks." So it sounds like he's slowed his roll a little bit. Maybe he's learned not to overpromise and underdeliver here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's exciting to hear his stance on that, and, I mean, my FSD is pretty doggone awesome. I took my parents to dinner again last night, and, you know, there's dumpsters in the street from construction, and right after a hard right turn and a car coming, and man, you know, we went around it, and, my dad is just amazed. He is absolutely flabbergasted by how well, so the fact that it's gonna continue to improve is super exciting. So,
Yeah. Well,
well, Tori.
one more thing, Rod, actually.
Yep.
In addition to the emergency vehicles, um, for police, fire trucks, ambulances, pulling over and yielding for those, it also has added in navigation and routing into the vision-based neural network for real-time handling of blocked roads and detours. That's something I've always wondered is how does it know, that there's a road closure, and how is it gonna handle that? Well, it is vision-based, and then that's sharing on the network with other cars so that it can quickly update like Waze does, but even better because it's vision-based, not just GPS, "Oh, cars are stopped," reroute based. And one last thing here is, uh, it is apparently handling road debris way better. I've seen so many FSD video complaints of where there's a ladder or a stick in the road, and it just is gonna drive right over it if I didn't turn. Well, apparently, for tires, tree branches, boxes, it's got improved offsetting for road debris, and they've improved the handling in a lot of other different scenarios of unprotected turns, lane changes, when vehicles cut in, when school buses are stopping. I had a school bus the other day, and I didn't wait to see if it would stop, but I wondered, would this have stopped with that little itty bitty red light, that little red stop
Yeah.
sign that comes out? Would it recognize
Right.
that when I'm going
Yeah.
the other way? So
Yeah.
apparently they've added so many improvements with version 14. It's really unprecedented.
Yeah. It's funny all those little things you're mentioning are things that I've noticed that they're as good as it is that there are room for improvement. We have a lot of the Franzes or whatever they're called that'll blow off and be
Oh,
sitting in the
yeah.
road, and then speed bumps, it's not that great with. So it really seems like in the spirit of continual improvement, they're going after every little detail, which is cool. Tell us, Tori, I know we've talked about this before. How long will it take for everyone to receive these updates? Because it's not it don't if you're looking at your car going, "Wait, I don't have this," that's not how the software rollouts work. It's a process and it takes time and it's not all at once.
So, according to, uh, Teslafy, which monitors it has a big fleet of cars of Teslas where it knows the software version that it's on. This has been rolled out to 2.5% of Tesla vehicles, and, so it's literally it's hundreds of cars right now.
So it's
Uh
basically like they're essentially in testing with a pilot group right now of the
Right,
update.
and
Yeah.
if you think about it, that's smart because and this is what
Right.
they typically do with big updates. Now with minor updates, they unroll it they roll it out very quickly, but there's 2 considerations here. One, with the big update, you've got, you've gotta consider how many little bugs that there are, and so when they roll it out to a small number of people at first, they check and go, "Oh, hey, we're getting some bug feedback. We need to fix this before we roll it out to millions," right? And, so that's very smart of them to do it this way, and it tends to kinda roll out on this bell curve that starts really flat and increases slow, and then it goes up really, really fast because they get some of those minor bugs taken care of, and, there's not bugs being reported at a high level, so they roll it out to the masses. The second thing to consider with this is, this software is it's, it's a lot of data. And so if they were to roll it out to millions of vehicles all at once, it would just overwhelm and cause a bunch of errors with people trying to download it. So they do stage it and stagger it so that it works well for everybody as it becomes available.
Okay. So, well, that makes sense. So, a lot of resources required to go rolling this thing out to all the Teslas out there. So